The white moonlight has returned to the country. Everyone scoffs, believing that Liu Yihan would abandon me, his substitute, for her. Yet, the white moonlight insists on taking me for a paternity test. You resemble each other so closely. I refuse to believe there isn't some blood relation, she asserts. That day, I discovered I was the long-lost heir to a vast fortune. Liu Yihan's white moonlight has come back. I found myself being ushered to the hospital for a paternity test by her. As I awaited the results, I sat on a bench in the hospital corridor. To my left was the impeccably dressed CEO, Liu Yihan, who had been financially supporting me. To my right sat the white moonlight, Chu Yanyu. Sandwiched between the two, I sat rigidly, too intimidated to move. I felt like a superfluous light bulb, radiating 100,000 volts of electricity. Desiring to change my seat, I stood up, only to be firmly pressed back down by one hand from each of them. Liu Yihan commanded, "Sit down, don't wander." Chu Yanyu added, "Remain seated and await the results." Timidly, I complied, once again wedged between them, akin to an unnecessary piece of sour fish. The doctor emerged, holding the paternity report. "Miss Chu, the results are in," he announced. Chu Yanyu rose in anticipation. "What's the outcome? Is there a blood relationship?" The doctor replied, "Indeed, she is your long-lost biological sister." I gasped in astonishment, instinctively pinching Liu Yihan's thigh. He shot me a glance, but remained silent. Chu Yanyu exhaled in relief. "It's good that she's my sister." I hesitated, words caught in my throat. With a sigh, Chu Yanyu continued, "The pressure of inheriting the family's billion-dollar fortune alone has been overwhelming. Finally, I have someone to share the burden." Gently, she slipped a black card into my hand. "This card is now yours. I've transferred 50 million for your personal expenses. Spend it as you wish." In that moment, I forgot the very essence of refusal. It turns out my mother's claim that I was not her biological child but rather found in a trash bin was indeed true. Trembling, I accepted the card, tears streaming down my face from the overwhelming emotion. "Thank you, sister. After all these years, my billionaire sister has finally found me." I brazenly inquired of my sister, "Sister, may I use this money to support a man?" Liu Yihan gently furrowed his brows. Chu Yanyu replied, "You could support 10 without issue." My eyes lit up, and I eagerly said to my sister, "Sister, let me take you to enjoy some male models. I'll arrange for 10 for you." Chu Yanyu's eyes also brightened. "Male models?"
Certainly.
"Good sister, you truly understand me. I shall arrange 20 male models for your amusement." My eyes sparkled like those of an old bachelor from the countryside who had not seen a woman in 800 years. Liu Yihan sighed, pinching the bridge of his nose, and tugged at my collar. "Liu, do not forget our contract." Right, I had signed a 3-year support contract with Liu Yihan, which stipulated that during the term of our arrangement, I could not engage in any inappropriate relations with other men. The contract still had a week left before its expiration. I glanced at the 50 million in my card and, with renewed confidence, declared, "I'm sorry, but I intend to breach the contract." Liu Yihan replied, "That is fine. But the penalty for breach is 100 million. I faltered and immediately backtracked. "I'm sorry, I was mistaken." Chu Yanyu gently furrowed her brows and asked, "What contract?" I stammered. Chu Yanyu narrowed her eyes and pulled me behind her, questioning Liu Yihan. "Mr. Liu, I've heard from the circle that you are supporting my sister?" Liu Yihan responded, "I am not supporting her." He frowned and asked, "Who told you that?" Chu Yanyu sneered, "Everyone in the circle is saying so." She pressed, "Then what is the contract you just mentioned?" I quietly answered, "A support contract." Liu Yihan replied, "It's a romantic contract." I was taken aback. "What?" Liu Yihan seemed equally surprised. I was astounded. Liu Yihan was momentarily taken aback, and once he comprehended the situation, he darkened his expression and asked, "Support contract?
Who told you such a thing?"
I looked at him, bewildered. "Haven't you been supporting me for 3 years?" Liu Yihan pinched the bridge of his nose. "No, I have not supported you. That is a romantic contract." Chu Yanyu frowned. "Who signs a contract for a romantic relationship?" Liu Yihan replied, "I thought signing a contract would indicate my seriousness regarding this relationship." I hesitated. "Your seriousness is represented by giving me 500,000 each month and then sleeping with me?" Liu Yihan looked speechless, his expression complex, as he seemed at a loss for words. Chu Yanyu scrutinized Liu Yihan. "Mr. Liu, support agreements are illegal and, theoretically speaking, invalid. If you insist, I will have no choice but to report this." Liu Yihan sighed. "I am not supporting her. The 500,000 is the monthly expense for our relationship." He added, "I assumed it was normal to engage in intimacy during a romantic relationship, so I did not think much of it. I apologize." I did not consider this thoroughly, and may have caused you misunderstanding.
I am sorry.
Such matters should occur only after marriage. The hospital was hardly an appropriate venue for such discussions. Chu Yanyu, in her high heels, told me, "You decide for yourself." I quietly asked, "Well, since it's a romantic contract, may I take a week off?" With just a week until the contract's expiration, a week off would allow me to seamlessly transition into visiting male model clubs. Lu Yihan pursed his lips and replied, "Yes." After his acquiescence, I left the hospital with Chu Yanyu, riding in her luxury car, to meet my mother. As Chu Yanyu drove, she remarked, "I find Lu Yihan's words untrustworthy. He is not a good person. You should avoid further contact with him." What a ridiculous romantic contract. No one believes that. I felt somewhat guilty, actually. I think he is a good person. Chu Yanyu raised an eyebrow. "How so?" I replied, "When my mother was ill and unable to afford treatment, he assisted with the medical expenses. Without his help, my mother would not have been able to afford her treatment." Chu Yanyu stated, "Then he is supporting you." I awkwardly scratched my nose and confessed, because he covered my mother's medical expenses, I did not refuse when he expressed his desire to support me. It was all about gratitude and repayment. Chu Yanyu pondered for a moment before saying, "Once the contract concludes, I will provide the funds to help you support him." I considered this and replied, "Sister, is there a possibility that he has feelings for you? Lu Yihan's white Moonlight is my sister, while I am merely a substitute. My support for him may indeed indicate a case of wearing the green hat." Chu Yanyu abruptly slammed on the brakes, and I banged my forehead against the hard dashboard. Feeling immense pain, Chu Yanyu halted the car, her expression conflicted. "Impossible. Absolutely impossible. You must be mistaken." I insisted, "He truly likes you." She hesitated and said, "I once had a fling with his uncle and nearly became his aunt. He shouldn't be that twisted." My pupils dilated in shock as I trembled. "Sister, you." Chu Yanyu calmly assessed, "If he truly has feelings for me, then he is indeed a pervert." I hesitated, "Perhaps he really is a pervert?" Chu Yanyu gasped, "Stay far away from perverts." As the car resumed its journey, Chu Yanyu contemplated for a long while before murmuring, "Actually, I think that contract might genuinely be a romantic one." I also murmured, "That's impossible, sister. Absolutely impossible." A silence fell over the car as Chu Yanyu and I exchanged unspoken words. She hesitated, although perhaps he might have feelings for you? I mused. Perhaps his heart is split in two. One half loves you, and the other half loves me. Chu Yanyu gasped, "Oh." The car arrived at my home. Chu Yanyu accompanied me to meet my mother, politely greeting her, and then explained the situation regarding the paternity test. Chu Yanyu stated, "My grandmother favored boys over girls and held superstitious beliefs. She thought twins were ominous, so when my sister was born, she secretly took her away and discarded her. Until half a year ago, when my grandmother was hospitalized and delirious, she revealed this matter, and I learned that my sister had suffered so much. She acknowledged my mother as her godmother, saying, 'You are Yu's mother, and you are also my mother. From now on, I will honor you alongside Yu. My mother, upon seeing Chu Yanyu's face, which resembled mine so closely, accepted her as a goddaughter. After settling this, Chu Yanyu then took me back to the Chu family to meet my biological parents. Chu Yanyu reassured me, "Don't be nervous. My parents are very kind." My billionaire parents, as Chu Yanyu described, were indeed warm and welcoming towards me. My billionaire father declared, "I will transfer 20% of the company's shares to you. The newly developed commercial land will also belong to you." My billionaire mother exclaimed, "My precious daughter has suffered outside. I will immediately transfer 80 million to your account." After discovering Lu Yihan's existence from the information provided by their secretary, my billionaire father was furious. "How dare he support you? I will arrange for 10 suitable suitors for you at once. You must end things with him." My billionaire father was a man of his word. The next day, I found myself reluctantly seated in a cafe, facing 10 handsome, tall, and well-bred men at a large round table for a blind date. Chu Yanyu messaged me, "What is going on? Why are all 10 men here together? Did Dad schedule them all at once?" I awkwardly scratched my toe against the villa floor and messaged my sister, who was hiding at a back table. "Dad said to let them compete. If I am satisfied with all of them, I'll take them all." Chu Yanyu replied, "Oh my goodness, 6. One of the men, who looked even more striking than a movie star, asked, "May I ask what type of gentleman Miss Lu prefers?" "A male, alive." The first suitor pressed, "Could you be more specific?" I earnestly answered, "I prefer handsome, flamboyant, and well-endowed." The first suitor was left speechless. The second suitor, a gentle psychologist, politely asked, Miss Liu, have you had any romantic experiences? I shook my head vigorously, lying, no, not at all. I haven't even held a man's hand. The psychologist smiled. Miss Liu is truly an innocent girl. The third suitor asked, so, Miss Liu, how many boyfriends are you hoping to find? I responded. The third suitor pondered before asking Miss Liu, do you mind having multiple boyfriends? Without hesitation, I excitedly slammed my hand on the table, exclaiming, not at all. Not at all. 10 men exchanged glances, and they drew me into a group chat on their phones. The group name, Loving Family of Matchmaking. The fourth male contestant smiled gently at me, saying, on our way here, we reached a consensus. We are all willing to be Miss Liu's boyfriends. My pupils surged in shock, and Xu Yanyu, seated at the back with his coffee, sputtered black coffee, coughing loudly. Wait a moment, someone interjected. I turned to see Liu Yihan rushing in, his face filled with urgency. He said, I apologize for being late. My eyes nearly dazzled by Liu Yihan's striking presence. With a countenance as cold and chiseled as a sculpture, he resembled a steadfast sentinel. Clad in a tailored suit, his hair meticulously styled with hairspray. A Rolex gleamed on his wrist, and his shoes shone as if polished for an important occasion, akin to a peacock preparing for a grand display. He cast a glance at the 10 eligible suitors around the large round table, his expression darkening with jealousy as he murmured, perhaps my timing is not fortuitous. The gentle psychologist smiled and said, no, your timing is indeed perfect. The 10 dashing men wore professional smiles as they welcomed him into their fold, saying, welcome to our loving family of matchmaking. In an attempt to mask my embarrassment, I inadvertently sprayed coffee everywhere. And the handsome 7th contestant beside me elegantly offered me a tissue. I thanked him softly. Thank you. He smiled sweetly. It is my honor to assist you, elder sister.
Oh, my dear swan.
He was indeed an adorably obedient younger brother. Liu Yihan's expression darkened, and he struggled to suppress his irritation. I'm sorry, but I did not come here to join you. He declined the invitation to the loving family of matchmaking, subtly showcasing his pristine Rolex watch. The male model beside him, towering at nearly 2 meters, smirked and removed his suit jacket, revealing a dazzling golden belt adorned with sparkling diamonds. Apologies, it's a bit warm. Please excuse me. I was astounded by the value of this belt, and I noticed Liu Yihan's expression momentarily stiffen. The wealthy second-generation heir slammed his phone onto the table, prompting the 8th contestant to exclaim dramatically, wow, is that not the exclusive golden Apple phone, of which only one exists in the world? The heir humbly remarked, please keep your voice down, it would be rather embarrassing for others to hear. Liu Yihan remained silent. The 8th contestant, unperturbed, reiterated in a tone that could irritate anyone. This is the exclusive golden Apple phone, the exclusive golden Apple phone. Liu Yihan's expression froze. The young lord from the capital crossed his legs, feeling constrained by the table, and casually placed his foot atop it, showcasing a South African diamond the size of a fist on his shoe. The 10th contestant, feigning shock, exclaimed, Lord Quan, your shoes are truly magnificent. That South African diamond, I believe you purchased for 80 million, correct? Lord Quan replied dismissively, just a pair of old shoes. I grew tired of them after wearing them twice. Liu Yihan's expression remained impassive as he rolled up his sleeve, concealing his forgotten Rolex. I buried my head in the cake, pretending not to notice his predicament. The first male star poured me a glass of water, remarking with a smile, this glass of water represents my love for you. How incredibly cheesy. Yet, with his stunningly handsome face, I found it somewhat acceptable. I downed the glass of water, tears brimming in my eyes. The psychologist, observing, clapped his hands and presented me with a heart-shaped red velvet cake. Would you care to try this cake? The 7th contestant leaned in, eager to compete for my attention, saying, sister, may I perform a magic trick for you? A magic trick? I inquired, intrigued. He covered the coffee cup with a white napkin, and with a flick of his fingers, the cup vanished, replaced by a beautiful red rose. He presented the rose to me, saying, sister, you are more beautiful than this rose. My goodness! How talented he was. I accepted the rose, saying, thank you.
Please call me Rose from now on.
The 7th contestant replied, understood. Sister Rose. He magically produced a stunning ruby bracelet, adorning my wrist with it. This is a small gift for you, Sister Rose. I hope you like it. I stared at the bracelet, worth no less than 10 million, momentarily taken aback. The 8th contestant exaggeratedly shouted into Liu Yihan's ear, wow. This is the Red Queen, which sold for 20 million at auction 2 years ago.
Goodness.
Goodness. Lu Yihan's face darkened at his words. Oblivious, the eighth contestant continued to repeat, Goodness.
Goodness.
Lu Yihan's hand, gripping the fork, tightened with visible tension. I caught a glimpse of Lu Yihan's expression and stifled a laugh, turning to the seventh contestant, Thank you. And then, before Lu Yihan, I remarked, The bracelet is exquisite. I truly adore it.
Thank you.
I contemplated returning home to explore my billionaire father's little vault to select a gift in return for the seventh contestant. Lu Yihan could no longer contain himself. His fork scratched the plate into a rough heart shape. Suddenly, he stood up and retrieved a stunning ring from his pocket, adorned with an expensive heart-shaped ruby. I too have prepared a gift for our meeting. I raised an eyebrow, perplexed. Had he truly lost his mind? The wealthy second-generation heir glanced at the ring, scoffing. Do you know what kind of wealth the second generation possesses? Lu Yihan responded. The heir slammed the table, declaring, Wealth that rivals nations. The eighth contestant behind him unfurled a banner reading, Wealth that rivals nations. Lu Yihan and the other 8 men wore expressions of disbelief. I nearly burst into laughter. The other 8 men simultaneously turned away, pretending not to know those 2 embarrassing individuals. What a disgrace. Lu Yihan's expression was complex. For a fleeting moment, he felt as though he were in a kindergarten chicken fight. It seemed all the heir's intelligence was invested in his wealth. The heir tore off his ruby-studded tie, tying it into a heart shape, and passed it down from the 8th contestant to me. He proudly proclaimed, This is my gift for our meeting. Each ruby has been meticulously selected by me. I hope Miss Lu will enjoy it. The 8th contestant enthusiastically exclaimed, Wow. These rubies are massive. So dazzling. So radiant. Incredible. I've never seen such beautiful ruby ties. The heir cleared his throat. Let us keep it low-key. The 7th contestant nearly lost control, expressing visible disdain. Lu Yihan's face darkened like an ancient pot that had not seen a scrub in centuries. Exuding a beauty akin to a vibrant, iridescent hue, I struggled to suppress my laughter as I accepted the tie. Thank you. Lu Yihan stammered, I rejected his ring, saying, Perhaps the ring is better suited for Mr. Lu's future wife. I do not require it. Lu Yihan appeared momentarily stunned, seemingly taken aback by my refusal, a hint of disappointment crossing his face. After a moment's contemplation, he shoved the ring back into his pocket and turned to the psychologist, saying, I apologize. I was quite foolish earlier. Please allow me to join you. The psychologist raised an eyebrow in surprise. The 7th contestant looked equally perplexed. Lu Yihan's face bore a determined expression, akin to a resolute spy infiltrating enemy territory. Please allow me to join you and become a member of this loving family of matchmaking. The 10 dashing men erupted into applause, their professional smiles returning as they welcomed him into the fold, saying, Welcome to our loving family of matchmaking. The group chat, Loving Family of Matchmaking 11, transformed into Loving Family of Matchmaking 12, following Lu Yihan's inclusion, totaling 12 individuals, myself and the 10 men. Along with Lu Yihan. Suddenly, I and the billionaire has joined the affectionate family chat. I sent a message. Dad? The psychiatrist has added my billionaire father to the group chat. Group chat, Affectionate Family 13. Once my billionaire father entered the chat, messages flooded in. 10 men followed suit, calling out, Dad. I hesitated, my mind in a whirl. The psychiatrist interrupted me. Miss Lu, there is no need for further explanation. Your father is indeed our father. The other 9 men nodded in agreement. I hesitated. Isn't this inappropriate? A rich second-generation heir asked me, Miss Lu, do you know our father's full name? I was baffled. What is it? The rich heir took a deep breath. Our father is named Xu Outyan. My head was spinning. So, what does that mean? The rich heir replied, In this circle of Beijing, everyone must bear the surname Chu. A male model added, Our billionaire father's wealth is not merely in billions, but rather in 999 billions. The other men nodded in unison, declaring, We are willing to marry into the Chu family and become Mr. Chu's sons-in-law. The 4th man sighed helplessly. There's no choice. Mr. Chu is simply too wealthy. Not to mention being a son-in-law, I would gladly be Mr. Chu's grandson. No need for that, really. My billionaire father sent a message in the group. Who is this new person? The next second, Lu Yihan was kicked out of the group chat. Lu Yihan's expression was grim as I watched him lower his head, his long, fair fingers deftly operating his phone. Lu Yihan rejoined the group chat. In the blink of an eye, he was ruthlessly kicked out again. Lu Yihan was stubborn. He was determined not to concede defeat, striving to join our affectionate family. Each time he entered, my billionaire father would expel him. After several attempts, Lu Yihan's handsome face turned a shade of deep purple. I felt sympathy for him, but I couldn't allow him to obstruct my billionaire father's view. I directly blocked Lu Yihan, preventing him from joining the affectionate family chat. When Lu Yihan realized he was restricted from the group, disbelief washed over his face. I silently praised myself. In the face of significant issues, I could discern right from wrong. My billionaire father sent another message in the chat. With a grand gesture, he announced, "I've booked a cinema for you all. Go enjoy a movie." He had already planned the matchmaking itinerary. First a movie, then hot pot, followed by a presidential suite to revel until dawn. Naturally, the 10 men had no objections, and I would never dare to oppose my billionaire father. Lu Yihan was resolute. He refused to concede defeat so easily. His chiseled features, once striking, now bore an expression of restraint, as he insisted on accompanying us to witness what new tricks we had in store. Exiting the cafe, I heard a tremendous rush of wind. I looked up to see a helicopter descending from the sky with a doo-doo sound. A handsome bodyguard in a fitted suit leapt from the helicopter, kneeling before me on one knee. "Miss, the master has sent me to escort you to the cinema." I was taken aback, feeling the grandeur of my billionaire father. The bodyguard said, "Miss, please board the helicopter." I pointed at the men beside me and asked, "What about them?" The bodyguard replied, "Miss need not worry. The master has arranged a small aircraft to transport them." Small aircraft. I thought, grateful for my sister's paternity test that brought me back to my billionaire family's fortune. The helicopter soared into the sky, while the 10 men and Lu Yihan gazed up at my departure. In that moment, I felt a strange pang of emotion. Is this what it feels like to be elevated by the heavens? The helicopter circled in the air and landed at the cinema entrance. The bodyguard jumped down and called out, "Miss, please wait." The well-trained bodyguards swiftly unfurled a thick red carpet and arranged countless vibrant red roses into a grand heart shape. They then adjusted the cinema's big screen to the brightest setting, playing popular foreign music on a loop. As I descended from the helicopter, 2 more helicopters swooped down, showering rose petals from above. 20 bodyguards stood in 2 neat rows before the grand heart of roses, uniformly shouting, "Welcome, miss." In unison, they ripped off their shirts, revealing their sculpted abs beneath. I felt overwhelmed by the surge of male hormones. How extravagant! I was utterly astonished by this ostentatious display. Lu Yihan and the others descended from another helicopter, positioning themselves beside me like a group of pampered young men. The cinema director approached, holding a gilded contract, and respectfully stated, "Miss Lu, Mr. Chu has purchased this cinema. This private cinema is now under your name. Please bestow a new name upon it." Once again, I was deeply moved by my billionaire father's generosity.
Dad.
"I am willing to call you Dad for a lifetime." I inscribed the new name for the cinema on the gilded contract. "It shall be called Father Cinema." I wished to express my admiration for my billionaire father through this gesture. After Lu Yihan descended from the helicopter, he glanced at the cafe, which was less than 500 meters away from the cinema. He fell silent. It seemed like just a 2-minute walk from the cafe. I led the 11 men to collect the movie tickets. The young man at the counter had striking features, and I couldn't help but steal a few glances. The cinema director, ever astute, called out, "Little Lu, come here." Little Lu approached, his features bearing an uncanny resemblance to Lu Yihan. I hesitated. "What is your name?" He replied, "Miss, my name is Lu Sikhan." Lu Sikhan. I murmured, "So similar, it's uncanny. Even the names are alike." Lu Yihan's face turned green with envy. The 7th brother tilted his head. "It seems our affectionate family is about to gain a new member." The 4th man, in good spirits, smiled as he detached a green gem from the male model's golden belt and offered it to little Lu. "Good little brother. We came in a rush and brought no gifts, so please accept this as a token of our meeting." Little Lu, slightly nervous, accepted the green gem.
Thank you.
The male model glared at his now gemless belt, gritting his teeth at the 4th man. "You're so noble, yet you pick my belt's gem to give away." The 4th man shrugged. "What can I say? I couldn't very well take the South African diamond from Quan Xiao's shoes, could I?" Young Master Quan looked down at the dazzling South African diamond on his shoe. The first male star patted little Lu's shoulder. "Remember, from now on, you will be number 12. Little Lu nodded obediently. Okay. The 4th man pulled little Lu over to greet Lu Yihan. Come, this is your senior, number 11. Say hello. Louis Han, number 11, had already been kicked out of the affectionate family group. Little Lou stammered, S senior number 11, hello. Louis Han's face remained cold, offering no response. Little Lou gazed at Louis Han, as if understanding something, then turned to me, saying, Miss, I could undergo surgery to look like senior number 11. I gasped, no, that's unnecessary. Just be yourself. Louis Han was nearly driven to fury by Little Lou's declaration. In a fit of anger, he cornered Little Lou against the wall, emitting a frosty aura. Gritting his teeth, he warned Little Lou, remember, no matter how much you imitate, you will never be me. Little Lou trembled, stuttering, As senior, I'm sorry, please don't be angry. He quivered like a frail little flower, vulnerable and delicate. I felt an overwhelming sense of affection for this fragile little flower, Little Lou. I shouted, Stop. Don't bully him. Louis Han turned, disbelief etched on his face, his eyes reflecting hurt. Am I bullying him? I spoke with righteous indignation. Yes, that's right, it's you. Let him go. Don't bully him. Louis Han released his grip, and the wealthy heir seized the opportunity to pull him away to buy popcorn and cola. The movie is about to start. Let's grab a few buckets of popcorn. I approached Xiao Lu and quietly inquired, Are you alright? Xiao Lu, taken aback by the attention, shook his head repeatedly. I'm fine, really. After a moment's hesitation, he added, Brother 11 didn't bully me. Please don't be angry with him, Mississippi. How could there be such a considerate little flower in the world? I patted his shoulder, feeling exhilarated. It's all right. I saw everything. Don't be afraid. I will stand by you. At a distance, Louis Han, on his way to buy popcorn, paused, and his back suddenly radiated an intimidating aura. The wealthy heir remarked, Huh? Why is this popcorn green? He shook the green cola in his hand, puzzled. Is this cola also green? Can we even drink it? Louis Han shot a menacing glance at the pile of green snacks. The cinema manager nearby recommended, Young Master Fu. This is our cinema's specialty, wasabi-flavored popcorn and cola. It's quite delicious. You should give it a try. The wealthy heir sampled a piece. Just push a few carts into the screening room to have during the movie. The cinema was fully booked. Besides the manager and Xiao Lu, no one else was present. I brought 12 men into the screening room to watch the film. Louis Han tried to sit beside me, but was pushed aside by Brother 7. Brother 7 innocently smiled. Sorry, this seat is already taken. I had Xiao Lu on my left and Brother 7 on my right. With the other men settled around us, Louis Han was left with no choice but to sit in the row in front of me. The movie commenced. Titled, The Young Lady and Her 11 Men. Suddenly, I sprayed green cola all over Louis Han's bespoke suit. I coughed and handed him a tissue. I'm so sorry. Once we're outside, I'll compensate you for your outfit. Louis Han turned, removing his suit. His hair at the back of his head was dyed green by the cola, shimmering in the dim light of the cinema. He intended to hand me a tissue, but noticed that Xiao Lu had already eagerly offered one. Miss, please wipe your hands. Louis Han's eyes glowed with an eerie green light in the cinema. Thank you. Xiao Lu. I accepted the tissue from Xiao Lu and handed the entire tissue box next to my seat to Louis Han. Mr.
Lou.
Please use this. The corners of Louis Han's mouth curved into a bitter smile, his voice cool. Is it so awkward to call me Mr. Lou? I hesitated. Should I call you De Lou then? Xiao Lu couldn't help but chuckle. De Louis Han. Brother 7 suppressed a laugh. Let us watch the movie, shall we? The film's plot revolved around a young lady from a prominent family who, after being hit by a car, lost her memory and was deceived by a poor boy who took her home, exploiting her vulnerability. The cunning young man tricked the amnesiac lady into a false contract, coercing her to bear his children. He sent her out to buy soy sauce, but on her way, she was hit by a car again and regained her memory. The young lady stormed into the poor boy's home, slapping him forcefully and exclaimed, Do you know who my father is? The poor boy retorted, I don't care who your father is. Did you bring back the soy sauce? She smashed the empty soy sauce bottle against his forehead. Remember, my father is Long Aotian. At that moment, Long Aotian, her father, burst in with 11 bodyguards. Long Aotian, smoking a cigarette, demanded, Boy, are you the one who bullied my daughter? I was astounded. Wait, why does this Long Aotian look exactly like my billionaire father, Chu Aotian? I glanced down and noticed the credits roll at the bottom of the screen. Special appearance, Chu Aotian. Oh my heavens. It truly is my father. He made a cameo in the film. Fourth brother gently praised. Dad's gold chain around his neck is stunning. It shows great taste. I felt a bit awkward but forced myself to continue eating popcorn while watching. Long Out Yen, adorned with a thick gold chain and a cigarette in his mouth, ordered his 11 bodyguards to incapacitate the poor boy. He exhaled smoke and declared, "For bullying my daughter. This is your fate. Some people are simply not meant to be aspired to." The 11 bodyguards took turns slapping the poor boy. "How dare you bully our young lady? Are you seeking death? Beat him. Beat him to a pulp." The leader of the bodyguards pulled out large scissors. "Let us make him pay." The handsome bodyguards held the poor boy down, torturing him mercilessly. The poor boy screamed, "No, no." That night, he lost his dignity as a man. After the young lady returned to the Long family, Long Outyen arranged for her to have 11 handsome and quality men. The film concluded with the young lady blissfully donning a wedding gown, marrying her 11 companions. Long Outyen affectionately advised, "Child, do not suffer because of temporary hardships. Shed the burdens of your past, and you shall be reborn from the ashes." The original title of the film was The Young Lady and the Poor Boy, but it was renamed The Young Lady and Her 11 Men at the request of Capital Daddy. As the credits rolled, everyone was left in shock by the ending. Just then, a beam of green light descended from above, illuminating Lu Yihan and highlighting his eerie green hair. Xiao Lu, and the other 10 men stood in stunned silence. Love is a light, shining greenly upon him. I cleared my throat, my gaze drifting. Lu Yihan stood up, having grown somewhat silent after the film. He turned to me. "May I borrow a moment of your time?" "Me?" I stammered. Lu Yihan softly affirmed, "Yes." I set down the bucket of popcorn and followed him outside. Lu Yihan produced a red ruby ring. I felt a surge of caution. "I don't want it." Lu Yihan paused, his expression downcast. "Take it. Perhaps one day you might come to like it." I vehemently rejected. "No, no, no. That day will never come." Lu Yihan opened his mouth as if to say something. Fearing he might utter something outrageous, I quickly interrupted. "Wait. I have something for you." I handed him a black bank card. "This is to repay the medical expenses you covered for my mother. I had intended to wait until the 3-year contract ended to repay it, as it was all saved from the funds Lu Yihan provided." Lu Yihan appeared momentarily taken aback. He did not accept it but frowned, responding, "Your mother's medical fees do not need to be repaid. It was funded through the company's charity project." I shook my head. "It must be repaid." I pressed the bank card into Lu Yihan's hand. "Regardless of who funded this money or their intentions, I will work hard to repay it." Lu Yihan fell silent, abruptly asking, "Lu Yu, do you wish to sever ties with me?" I was bewildered. "Do we even have a relationship?" Lu Yihan's eyes turned red as he hoarsely queried, "So you've always believed that contract was for me to keep you as a mistress?" I responded in shock. "Wasn't it?" Lu Yihan chuckled bitterly, his voice strained. "No, I never intended to keep you." I turned my head away, telling him, "But from my perspective, you indeed have been keeping me. You keep me as a stand-in for Chu Yanyu. You have never truly cared for me. Every time you brought me to events, you would leave me alone. Everyone in the circle knows you adore Chu Yanyu. She is your white moonlight. I am merely her substitute, which is why they relentlessly bully and ridicule me. During those times, you were never around. You didn't even know about all this." Lu Yihan interrupted. "I'm sorry. I truly didn't know about any of this. I never liked Chu Yanyu. My feelings have always been for you." He furrowed his brow. "I don't know where these rumors came from." I scrolled through my phone, found a gossip headline, and read aloud. Shock. First meeting on the yacht. The Lu family's CEO fell in love with Miss Chu at first sight. An unforgettable encounter. Lu Yihan's expression darkened as he borrowed my phone, scrolling down with increasing agitation. I added, "I also saw a sketch portrait of Chu Yanyu in your study." At that, Lu Yihan's face turned an even deeper shade of discontent. He insisted, "I have never liked her. My affections have always been directed towards you. The misunderstanding arose because I mistook her for you at that moment. Furthermore, the sketch in the study is not of Chu Yanyu, but of you." I was perplexed. "But we only met 3 years ago when my mother fell ill, right?" The rumors about Lu Yihan's white moonlight being Chu Yanyu had circulated long before I ever knew him. Lu Yihan paused before saying no. "While you met me 3 years ago, I recognized you 6 years ago." He recounted how he had seen me compete in a shooting contest 6 years prior, where I had emerged victorious, shining like a proud and blazing sun, and he developed feelings for me then. Over time, that fondness transformed into a deeper affection, leading to the confusion he experienced upon first encountering Chu Yanyu on the yacht, mistaking her for me. The people in our circle, too, Mistakenly believed that Chu Yanyu was the unattainable white moonlight for Liu Yihan. My mind was reeling. I did indeed participate in shooting competitions, but I never fathomed that a single victory could inspire such feelings in someone. I confessed, I'm sorry, but I had no idea about any of this. I have no recollection of it. Liu Yihan's demeanor shifted to one of bitterness, as if all his joy had been pickled in a jar of sour plums, fermenting into an insatiable bitterness. I expressed, perhaps to you, it seems you never intended to support me. Yet from my perspective, you have indeed supported me for 3 years. This period of support cannot simply be dismissed with a casual remark of not being a support. Maybe you genuinely like me, but I have not felt your affection. An unperceived affection is not affection at all. I quietly told him, Mr. Liu, thank you for the medical expenses you covered 3 years ago. I am truly grateful, but I must apologize. I do not harbor feelings for you. Please, let this be the end. My initial agreement to his support was merely to repay this kindness. Liu Yihan fell silent, his eyes reddening as he struggled to find words. Xiao Lu peered in, and the other 10 men also leaned in curiously. Xiao Lu scratched his head and asked, Miss, are you finished talking? Sir, he. Upon seeing Xiao Lu's face, which bore a striking resemblance to his, Liu Yihan's voice grew hoarse as he questioned, with someone resembling me so closely, have you taken him as my substitute? Xiao Lu. My secret thoughts had been exposed, and I awkwardly replied, not exactly. Liu Yihan's eyes brightened as if he had seen a glimmer of hope. I shattered his daydream, saying, actually, I was considering using him as a human punching bag. I found myself displeased with you for quite some time. It was merely the kindness of a benefactor that had restrained me from acting on it. Liu Yihan stood frozen. The human punching bag, Xiao Lu. Whoa. Was there no one to speak on his behalf? Just then, the cinema resonated with the BGM of Lonely Hero. To love you while walking alone in the dark alley. To love your unyielding demeanor. To love you facing despair, unwilling to shed a tear. Someone approached, stepping in time with the music. 11 men and 20 black-clad bodyguards stood respectfully beside him, calling out, Dad. President Chu, my billionaire father, Chu Outyen, adorned with 10 thick gold chains, 20 large gold rings, and golden shoes, strode towards me, emanating an overwhelming aura of wealth. I couldn't help but exclaim, Dad.
Hey.
My billionaire father replied amiably. He approached Liu Yihan, and the 20 bodyguards promptly opened 20 silver safes, revealing gleaming gold bars. My father produced a diamond-studded lighter, lighting a cigar with a snap, and with a sidelong glance at Liu Yihan, declared, Kid, I'll give you 30 million to stay away from my daughter. For a brief moment, I envisioned a movie scene featuring a bodyguard wielding giant scissors. Liu Yihan's eyes reddened as he retorted, Mr. Chu, please do not insult my feelings for your daughter with money. Chu Outyen took a puff from his cigar and replied, it is not an insult. He continued, it is contempt. The contempt stemming from wealth. Liu Yihan fell silent. Chu Outyen took 2 more puffs of his cigar before realizing something was amiss. Wait. It seems my daughter does not like you either. He waved his hand, and the 20 bodyguards promptly closed the safes and brandished large scissors. I'll give you a chance. Be wise and leave my daughter, or else. My scalp prickled, and I stepped in front of Liu Yihan, calling out, Dad. A flicker of light ignited in Liu Yihan's eyes. I hurriedly explained, Dad, he has helped me. He covered my mother's medical expenses. We cannot repay kindness with malice. Liu Yihan's spark of hope extinguished once more. Chu Outyen, cigar in mouth, replied, fine. He waved his hand, and the bodyguards replaced the scissors with gold bars. 50 million. Leave my daughter. Liu Yihan pressed a hand to his chest, saying, I already know the answer. I will leave her without you throwing money at me. Chu Outyen snorted in agreement. At least you're sensible. Before departing, Liu Yihan asked me one last question. Did you ever love me? I did not respond directly but rather rationally inquired, Mr. Liu, would you love someone who has supported you? Liu Yihan gave a bitter smile, no. He turned to leave. And as I gazed at his dark green hair, a thought struck me. Wait. Liu Yihan spun around swiftly, his eyes igniting with hope. I said, just a moment. I rushed to consult my billionaire father and plucked 10 large gold rings from his adorned fingers. I handed these rings to Liu Yihan, saying, this is compensation for your suit. The light in Liu Yihan's eyes dimmed once more, and this time, it would not reignite. I glanced at his dark green hair and awkwardly suggested, that green color might stain. Perhaps you should consider dyeing it back to black? Liu Yihan turned away, without a word. Wait, I called, halting him in his tracks. I was about to inquire about the contract. how we would terminate the arrangement once it expired, but instead, I heard Lu Yihan's hoarse voice declare, "The contract is over. I am unilaterally terminating it. I will compensate you with 100 million as a penalty." I exclaimed. "What is happening?" Lu Yihan did not linger to elaborate. He took the gold rings I had given him and walked away. The bodyguards lined the path, setting off fireworks as they shouted in unison, "Congratulations, miss, for successfully dating 11 men." Lu Yihan stumbled, his teeth gritted as he left. 11 men. He hadn't even been counted among them. After Lu Yihan departed, Chu Outyen patted my shoulder and asked, "Daughter, did any of those men appeal to you today?" I obediently replied, "Dad, I feel quite fond of them all." Chu Outyen waved his hand grandly. "Then take them all." He proclaimed, "I have plenty of money." I felt a surge of respect for him. "Dad, you are my lifelong father." I quietly added, "I think I also quite like those bodyguards." Chu Outyen, overflowing with confidence, declared, "Then I'll give them all to you." He summoned the bodyguard brigade and instructed them, "From now on, your task is to protect the young lady. Do you understand?" 20 handsome bodyguards responded in unison, "Understood." They knelt before me, saying, "We have met the young lady." "Oh, how splendid. Dad, I shall call you my lifelong father." Fireworks erupted in the sky outside the cinema. Bang, bang, bang. Countless fireworks were launched into the sky, and as I looked up, I beheld a magnificent display of pyrotechnics forming the words, "A loving and united family." Beside it was a grand heart. Suddenly, an awkwardness washed over me, and I found myself digging my toes into the ground. Without a doubt, this was the handiwork of my billionaire father. I inquired, "Dad, can we change the name of our group chat?" Chu Outyen, with a cigar between his lips, replied, "Change it to whatever you desire." I promptly renamed the chat "The Hope of All the Men in the Village." My father, with the affectionate touch of an elder towards a younger, gently patted my head and earnestly said, "My dear daughter, I do not wish for your entire life to be confined to just one man." "Dad," I began, but he interjected, "If you're going to indulge, then indulge in many men." Enlightenment struck me. "Dad, you are absolutely right." I resolved to not limit myself to merely 11 men. If I were to engage, it would be with the square of 11. Epilogue. After the contracts of engagement and sponsorship with 11 men expired, I had not seen Lu Yihan again. My billionaire father issued orders to the 11 men, tasking them with the mission of successfully proposing to me. Thus, I was about to accept the proposals from 11 suitors. As I stepped outside, I was confronted by a plush green frog puppet. The enormous frog extended its small palm, upon which rested 2 tiny frogs. It asked, "Have you lost this golden frog or this silver frog?" With a serious demeanor, I replied, "Neither." The frog puppet lifted its headpiece, revealing a face comparable to that of a male celebrity. It was number 1. He reached out to me, saying, "Then you must have lost my green frog." Just as I was about to respond, a shower of renminbi descended from the sky. I looked up to see a helicopter circling above, raining down the currency. Bystanders were astonished, exclaiming, "Goodness! Justice from the heavens!" Amidst the red rain of renminbi, a figure approached. A wealthy heir, adorned with 10 thick golden chains and 20 large gold rings, strode towards me in golden leather shoes, and I sensed a familiar aura. The rich heir affectionately declared, "Darling, I have transformed into the man you adore most." He asked, "Will you accept my proposal?" The grandeur of his proposal left me awestruck. Just as I was about to speak, the thunderous roar of a heavy-duty truck echoed towards me. A truck weighing several tons sped to a halt, and cool guy number 10 leapt from its back, where an entire load of vibrant red roses awaited.
"These are for you," he said.
From the passenger seat, brother number 7 jumped down, grinning as he remarked, "Sister Rose, I have prepared a special surprise for you." He snapped his fingers, and with a loud bang, I gazed up to see a colossal cloud shaped like a red rose. Brother number 7 winked and asked, "Sister Rose, do you like it? This is your unique rose," he proclaimed. Just as I was about to respond, a male model appeared, presenting me with a golden belt adorned with diamonds, now complete with its missing emerald. "This belt is suited for you." I hesitated, unsure whether to speak the truth. Despite its value, the belt was rather lacking in substance. Following him was number 4,
who smiled gently at me.
Then came the psychologist, number 3, number 8, and the wealthy young master from Beijing, all joining hands and surrounding me as they sang, "You love me, I love you. Let us all be sweet together." I felt utterly flustered, and a catchy tune played in my mind, "You love me, I love you, Mieshuai City, sweet and lovely." All I wanted to say was, Stop.
Please, just stop.
You're going to make the seaside villa crumble. I conceded to their pleas. The Beijing young master stepped forward, presenting me with a dazzling, oversized South African diamond. This gem represents my heart for you. I hesitated, recalling the pearls embedded in his extravagant shoes. I asked, this jewel doesn't have athlete's foot, does it? The young master bristled at the insinuation. This was not pride for my shoes. I sighed in relief. That's good. I accepted the diamond, and number 8 approached, gifting me a pocket-sized tape recorder. Confused, I opened it, and it repeated in a tone unmistakably resembling number 8's. Oh,
My dear Swan.
beautiful lady. You are the most stunning woman in the world. Your beauty descends like a goddess, making my heart race. This was quintessentially number 8. Little Lou rushed in, clutching a scroll. His face was obscured by a frightful smoky makeup that concealed his features, which bore a striking resemblance to Lou Yihan. Miss, he exclaimed, startling me. Your face. Little Lou suddenly unfurled his scroll, revealing a dense collection of 10,000 I love yous. My scalp prickled at the sight. He earnestly pleaded, Miss.
Please do not reject me.
Let me stay by your side. I covered my eyes. All right, I accept. Just put it away. I could no longer bear the sight. I agreed to the proposals of 11 men. At the wedding venue, my sister and mother sat below, with my billionaire father and mother beside them. 11 men clad in white suits surrounded me as I wore a beautiful white wedding gown and exchanged rings with them. 11 rings adorned my 10 fingers. They gazed at me with profound affection, declaring, we wish to become your husbands. I too am willing, I replied. As the sky rained down countless renminbi, I made a vow of eternal companionship with my 11 suitors amidst the fluttering currency. I turned and thought I saw Lou Yihan. He stood outside the wedding venue in a green suit, with green hair, deep green eyeshadow, and dark green lipstick, gazing at me. I thought I must be mistaken, but when I blinked again, he had vanished. The captain of my security team approached, saying, Miss, I found a bank card. The card contained a sum of 100 million. He left behind only a message. May you find happiness in the days to come. The end. Thank you for listening. If you enjoyed this, please subscribe and give a thumbs up to support.
Until we meet again in the next story.